In this afternoon's video, we're going to talk about skills to pay the bills, how how often they trigger, and we're talking about Faceless a little bit because he's kind of weird.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in today's video, we're going to talk about two topics having to do with skills. First, the accuracy of a skill, and second, the timing of a skill. But before we get into that, if this is your first time watching me on YouTube, I do educational Hero Wars and Hero Wars mobile videos directed at new players. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing. Turn on that notification bell so that you never miss a video. And if you find this video helpful, please caress that like button. I'm going to ask you again at the end, so you better do it. You better do it. So first, let's talk about skill accuracy. Some skills, and I've got old Kira highlighted here. Some skills, like Kira's Blade Whirlwind, have a lot happening here, but you can see at the bottom, the chance to silence is lowered if the target's level is above 112. Now, a lot of skills that have a stun or a debuff effect or a blind, a charm, a lot of skills have this accuracy indicator, this little line that will determine how accurate the ability is. And we don't have an official article explaining this, but I reached out to the community managers and got the correct formula for you. And the equation to determine a skill's accuracy, that is whether or not it's actually going to hit the enemy, is 4 divided by 4 plus the hero level minus skill that you're trying to attack. So what do I mean by that? Looking at Kira again, you can see that the skill level is 112. Chance to silence is lowered if the target's level is above 112. So let's say that the hero that I'm trying to silence is level 115. Let's say I'm trying to target a level 115 hero. So the equation for skill accuracy, given the example of Blade Whirlwind here, of the skill level is 112, and we're going up against a level 115 enemy. The equation is on the screen now. It's 4 divided by 4 plus the difference in hero level minus skill level, and then you multiply that answer by 100 to get your percentage. So, for example, the difference between hero level and skill level is 3. 115 minus 112 is 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, so it would be 4 divided by 7, and then you multiply that answer by 100 to get the percentage chance to hit the enemy with that silence. Obviously, the bigger the level difference between your skill and the enemy hero, the less likely that ability is still going to silence the enemy. You're still going to do the damage, right? The hit damage is still going to factor in there, but the difference is, the added effect, the silence, the charm, the stun, the blind, those effects that can trigger, upon successful completion of the attack. And what you'll find is once you get to max level, everybody has a 100% chance to hit. So the stun always lands, the charm always lands. It is what it is. So next, I want to talk about Faceless, because it's kind of related. Faceless's doppelganger ability states that turns into the enemy or ally who last won to use the first skill and uses that skill. Copied ability gains level 260. So the 260 is important for 2 reasons. First of all, it's important for the accuracy of the skill. Obviously, if you're the same, if the ability Doppelganger 130 is the same level or higher of the enemy, then whatever skill it is, whatever debuff it is going to hit. But the second part of each attack, and again, let's go back to Kira and look at her ultimate ability. Kira's ultimate ability has the math of 30% of physical attack plus 5,600. Now, what does that 5,600 come from? Where does that 5,600? Is that just a static number that's based on Kira's level? It's actually not. There is math behind that number as well as the full 30% equation. And I'm going to show you right here on the official Hero Wars calculator what I'm talking about, because it explains it a little bit more in depth. So right here on Blade Whirlwind on the Hero Wars calculator, it gives the full equation. So you can see 30% of physical attack, right? So 30% of your hero's physical attack. In this case, it would be 30% of Faceless's physical attack, right? Faceless's physical attack, not Kira's, because you're not copying Kira's physical attack, you're only copying the ability. So 30% of Faceless's physical attack plus level times 50, right? So if we take Faceless's level, and again, this is Facebook, so the level is a little higher than mobile at 130. So you take 130 times 50 equals 6,500. So it would be 30% of physical attack plus 6,500, except Faceless's doppelganger ability states that the skill gains level 260. So as far as I know, the ability, going back to the equation here, the ability is 30% of physical attack, 30% of Faceless's physical attack, plus level times 50. Level is 260 times 50. So it's actually 30% of physical attack plus 13,000. And that determines how much damage is done whenever Faceless copies this ability. And you can do this with just about anybody. If you look at just about any hero that has a physical attack for an ultimate, you can see that if I look at, Daredevil here, it's physical attack plus level times 30 for the explosion damage, and the burn damage is 10% of physical attack plus level times 9. So again, it would be the 50% physical attack of Faceless plus level, which is 260 times 30, and then the burn damage would be 10% of Faceless's physical attack plus 260 times 9. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Faceless is one of those weird heroes that, not a lot of people really fully understand how his ultimate, his doppelganger ability actually works, because people aren't clear on, where that flat damage number after the percentage in skills comes from. They don't realize that that's a multiplier from, based on the skill level, and they don't know what the base number to multiply that by. A lot of people don't understand that, and a lot of people don't understand how the skill accuracies work. So hopefully that clears things up. If it doesn't, and I understand that if it doesn't, because anytime that there's a lot of math involved like this, it kind of gets a little wonky. I do understand that. So if you have any more questions about it, please leave a comment in the discussion down below. Of course, join me on Discord if you want to chat about this a little bit further. But that's kind of how skill accuracy works, and how Faceless's ultimate skill works. Next, let's talk about the timing of skills. Before we get too deep into this fight, I just want to say that the blue abilities and the green abilities have an internal cooldown. That is a set period between when the skill is used versus when the skill is used again. And I'll show you that here in just a second. So as this fight is going along, we see that Faceless uses his green ability, which is a knock up. He knocks the tank up in the air, he knocks Luther up in the air, pushes the tank back, and we can see that he uses it at about 145. And then as we continue along with the fight, Kark uses his green ability, which is the little dimensional shield that he's starting to summon there, and you can see that he uses it at about the 1 minute 42 mark. Then, let's just skip ahead a little bit more, and you can see that Faceless again will use his knock up and knock back on Luther. He uses it about the 130, 131 mark, and you can see that there's a difference of about 15 seconds there. We keep on going with the fight, and then we can see that Kark again uses his shield, his green ability, and it's the difference of about, roughly 15 seconds. However, whenever we do this again, we can see that Martha by now has used her ultimate at least one time, right? And Martha's ultimate is to speed up your team. So whenever Faceless does his green ability again, it's roughly 15 seconds later again. It's probably 14 or 15. I'm not 100% sure what the internal cooldown of this skill is. I've heard that skills have cooldown anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer, and that's kind of how they tweak some of the skills that they use. They tweak the numbers of the damage, and they tweak the timing in between skills as well. So it appears as though Martha's speed boost doesn't really affect Faceless's green ability at all. However, whenever we keep going with the fight a little bit longer, and we see that Kark is using his green ability, his shield again, his is about 10 seconds later. It's about 12 seconds, actually. And going back and looking back at the footage again, it's not just me doing, pausing the video at different times and being being incorrect and being wrong. It is a difference of a couple of seconds. There's absolutely an effect from Martha, maybe from some other source that I'm not sure about. I don't really know, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say exactly what's going on here. There's all kinds of factors that affect people summoning and using their abilities and all of that, speed ups and slow downs and stuns and, charms and all of that. So we're not 100% clear on all of that. We don't have access to the back end of skills. There are people that do. I believe Loadrunner can look at the skill cooldown between all of the skills if we really wanted to, but just take my word for it. This is one of the few times that I don't have the pure data to show, but there is a set time limit between when Faceless uses his green ability and the next time that he uses that green ability, or Daredevil uses her blue ability, or Dante uses his green ability. There is a set time limit between skills, and they will fire them off on that schedule. All right, so don't forget that I do live stream Monday through Friday. Here is the schedule. Check that out. If you have time, please join me. We have a lot of fun. About an hour long live stream, and we tackle, we try to tackle one topic a week. Tuesdays are Team Fight Tuesdays. Often we'll talk about, events on Thursday nights, but they're a lot of fun. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.